What's up, you guys? It's Martin here. And now that I'm finished 3/4 of my first year in university, I thought I'd share the differences that I noticed between high school and college, and what to keep in mind to make the transition easier for you. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. Now, the first thing you notice when going into college is the freedom that you get just from being away from home. Now that you're an adult and away from your parents, you can go to the places that you've never been before and do dumb things that you wouldn't do normally, because peer pressure might exist or rational thinking doesn't. With this newfound freedom, you can easily get caught up in the party lifestyle and overall become distracted as to why you came into university in the first place. Because I see that some people forget that they're students first and foremost. Also, this new freedom obviously comes with more responsibilities, such as cooking or doing all the chores yourself, even when the year is busy. So if you're the type of person that would rely on cheap fast food or neglect to do your laundry, then I suggest you get your act together and build better habits now, or you'll be smelly and get freshman 15. Another point that I would like to touch on is the fact that your professors will not be likely to check up on you like they did during high school. This is because the class sizes are 5 to 10 times larger than your high school classes, sometimes more or less depending on the class. And if you want help from your teachers, you have to go look for them yourselves during their office hours outside of class. So you really have to stay on top of your work all on your own now, which is difficult for some people to do without the proper guidance. It's really easy to fall into bad habits like these without someone to properly guide you, because realistically, we've always had someone to hold our hands throughout all of high school, like our teachers, our parents, and our mentors. So really keep in mind that you need a high degree of self-control when going into college. The second difference I noticed is the workload and the time frame that you have in school. This point isn't meant to be scary, but it's just that the course load in university is a little bit greater than the one that you experienced in high school. And what I mean by that is, for me, we only had to take 4 courses per semester, whereas in university you had to take 5 courses. It's really not a big deal if you have the perseverance and self-discipline to overcome this. And also the fact that I only took 2 courses in my senior year in high school, and I'm still okay, so you'll be fine. Additionally, college only goes from September to April, and it's definitely a trap to think that this 2-month difference does not come with a catch. Because cutting the time frame short by 2 months means that there's less time to learn everything that you need for the exams, and less time that you have to let the information sit in your brain and process, compared to when you're in high school, where the school year goes all the way to June. This means that you have to really stay on top of your studies if you want to achieve good results. It doesn't seem like it now, but school will go by in the blink of an eye, and it will really catch you off guard if you aren't ready for it. And the third difference is in the exams. The fact that there are a lot fewer tests or assessments during the year, which means that each one of them are worth significantly more than the ones that you had in high school. So you really gotta make sure you prepare well, because you have less chances to mess up now, essentially. Because in university, there are some courses that only have 2 assessments, like the midterm and the final, and that's it. With only 2 assessments, the time between each one is significantly longer than when you had like multiple tests during a term in high school. And you'd be sadly mistaken if you fall into a false sense of security that this long period between exams is a peaceful one where you can have fun and then study when the time comes closer to the exam. But you have to realize that there's a lot of content to fit into that long period of time that you can't cram like you used to do in high school. Or maybe you could, but results may vary. So really make sure that you have the self-discipline to study regularly throughout this time, because nobody's ever going to tell you to go and study anymore. And if you fall victim to this false sense of security, then you're going to have to resort to a stressful period of cramming. Oh, and one last thing about exams is that unlike high school, university exams don't have a makeup test in case you fail. Like, those things don't exist anymore. So when you get to your post-secondary education, please take everything seriously now. And smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm, because that really helps me and the channel out, especially since I'm putting out videos when I'm supposed to be studying during reading week, and also because it's family day. Now moving along to the fourth point, which ties up the first 3 points together, and that is, between high school and college, you gotta grow into becoming an adult. Well, it's quite obvious that you have to take on more responsibilities, as that's part of life and growing up. What I'm referring to specifically here is the financial aspect. I'm going to keep it short here because I have other videos about saving money, but what I'm trying to get at here is that you should try to be responsible with your money and not blow all of it on Friday nights out with the boys, or whatever they call it these days. Kind of felt old saying that because I'm pretty much the opposite of a party person, but that's besides the point. The main point I'm trying to get at is that university is really expensive, and you should really try to spend your money in moderation. Because a survey by MacLean's in 2018 showed that the average annual cost of post-secondary education in Canada is $19,498.75 per year. And if you're fortunate enough to be the 41% of students that have their parents save for their education, then you should really save that money and invest it, because that money can really go a long way in paying off the average $28,000 of debt from the average bachelor's degree, which is the stats from Stats Canada. On the other hand, if you're part of the 59% of students who do not have an RESP or your parents saving for your education, you really don't have any excuse to replicate your parents' money habits. So do your best and save what you can, and be responsible with your money in the process. So remember, spend in moderation. Overall, all these points boil down to being adaptable to whatever challenges you face coming into your undergraduate career. Because I know that while we share some struggles as undergraduate students, we may struggle in different areas altogether. It's really important to realize that what worked for you in high school might not work for you in college or university. For example, in the first year, the content may not be much harder, but maybe the sheer quantity will make your previous strategies fail. So that's why you should always reflect and reevaluate what's working for you and what strategies are inefficient. Then you can make changes accordingly. With this, you should really be completely fine in your undergraduate career, even if the transition takes longer than a year for you. If you constantly self-reflect and find strategies that work for you, there's literally nothing stopping you from having a successful undergraduate career. So don't lose your hope and confidence just from your first year of college, because sometimes it takes longer for some people to adapt and be used to the transition between high school and college. And one last point about being adaptable is that there's no one strategy that is one size fits all. So take any advice you hear from others with a grain of salt, including this random guy on the internet that's speaking to a camera and speaking to you through a video. So really pay attention to what works personally for you, and really stick with it until it doesn't work, and then you have to reevaluate and change your systems and find the next thing that works for you. To sum up the video, practicing self-control, self-discipline, perseverance, and moderation will really help you grow into a responsible adult. Keep these things in mind in your undergraduate career and your years beyond college, like when you have to pay off your student loans. And I assure you that this transition will be a little bit smoother and easier for you. So that's about it for this video. Smash that like button and hit subscribe if this video helped you. If you're in university like me, enjoy your reading week, but don't forget to study. And if you're still in high school, I hope this video helped you out and didn't scare you too much, if at all. If you made it this far into the video, comment anything down below and I'll do my best to reply to you. Alright, that's about it for me. I'll see you guys in the next one.
Yo, what the? Bro, what the hell?
Bro!
Bro, look at this. What is this?
Bro!
What is this?
What the fuck?
Why is this? It's actually scary. It's actually scary.
Oh my God.
Okay, that's fine.
Oh my God.
Damn.
Oh my
That's
God.
kind of scary.
Now, Amy, look.